Cameron, hi.
Hi.
So you started in the band while you were still a student.
Yes, I was 14.
Okay. Golly. Okay.
Yeah.
Young. What was that process? How did you first get involved in the band?
I was bragging about how I could play guitar,
Okay.
and even though I couldn't really play guitar, so
So you were just completely lying.
I could play four chords.
Okay.
So I could
Okay.
play guitar, but I was in no way ready to be playing with a band. But our student minister at the time, Daniel Ward, heard that I could play guitar, so he called me up and tried to get me started with the band. And
That sounds providential.
yeah.
What is the process like of choosing the songs that you sing there? I mean, do you try to correlate with what Dalton is preaching or whoever might be preaching?
Yeah, so during the week I make set lists for a couple weeks ahead, and I try to keep a theme current with all the songs, or a key current within a few songs, or a message going between the songs. So sometimes it's connected with the sermon that Dalton will be preaching, and sometimes it's just its own set. Sometimes we have worship as a theme and the sermon as a theme. So usually we'll start with a fun song to kind of get people going. And
You do generally they'll try to have like some kind of cohesion between songs.
right,
Okay.
yeah. So we'll either have it in the same key to where the songs just blend together.
Oh, even just musically, not even lyrically.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So we'll try to have a mix of it where it's all smooth and works together. I'm always listening to new music, always keeping up with new artists and their albums that they're releasing.
So you've heard Kings Kaleidoscope's
I have.
new album. What do you think of it?
I have to say, I appreciate King Kaleidoscope's
Oh no.
work,
Okay.
but have you heard their song "The Prayer"?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some theological conflictions
Yeah.
with.
For people who don't understand, what is significant about the prayer?
In the middle of the song, their message is that they want it to be really sincere. So they speak very freely with their language and drop a few words that you wouldn't have in a worship set usually.
Yeah, some profanity.
Right.
Some pretty extreme profanity.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily agree with their reasons for using profanity
Right.
in the prayer.
I like some
What
of
are
their
their
songs.
reasons?
What are the reasons I don't appreciate them using?
What are the
those?
reasons they put forward, and why don't you appreciate them?
Okay, so their message that they put out publicly, as I've read, is they want that song to be an open prayer, something that they would have in their quiet time, praying to God. And so I feel like as a artist, especially if you claim as a Christian artist making Christian music, that your music that you're producing to give to other people who are Christ followers should have the Christian spirituality that is grown above average. So they should, and I understand that some newer Christians, some people who are still in the lower part of discipling, still have issues from their past life that might come through, some habits that might come through. So during a prayer,
Because in the prayer they use the F word
mm-hmm.
to kind of exemplify these extreme emotions of fear and doubt that
Right.
I have. And so I would say that I agree with you in the sense of I feel like as Christians we're called to be above that now,
Mm-hmm.
and that even at our basest, we shouldn't express that fear in that way.
Exactly. If you are intentionally publishing something like that and calling yourself a Christian band, publishing worship music, singing hymns, they have an album of hymns. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
ASOS Heroes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think if they have that in their background, that they should watch what else
Yeah.
they're pushing.
So would you say because King's Kaleidoscope uses that one song where they use that one word, you would not use one of their songs in a worship service?
It's a great question. And I've even thought about that myself. But I do think that the message that they have with their other songs, I would agree with most of them. And if I didn't feel that their attitude towards their art that they're pushing, I feel like that was a really intentional thing. Like it's not something that just slipped and they accidentally published it. It was something that they wrote, recorded, and published. So I do kind of feel like that attitude that they have towards that kind of taints the rest of their message. So knowing that myself, I would be reluctant to share some of their messages.